we're going to cover exactly what is going on with the shiny Charizard VMAX right now. Is now the time to buy, hold, sell? What do you need to do? What do I need to do? What do we need to do? Let's get started. Hello, beautiful people. Captain Zach Sparrow here. So, the shiny Charizard VMAX had a ton of buzz at the very beginning of the set. Naturally so. It's a Charizard, chase card, secret rare, whatever you... It checks pretty much all of the boxes. Is it rare though? Now that's a good question actually. What does rare mean to you? What does rare mean to me? What does rare mean, more importantly, to the market as a whole? So, would rare mean that there's a finite number, and as soon as it crosses that threshold, even by one unit number, does that just mean that it's no longer rare? It's a bit more complex than that, right? So that's a piece that goes into what makes something investable, especially for a trading card game or any collectible sort of genre. Some quick numbers to throw at you real quick. PSA 10 shiny Charizard VMAXs right now are consistently selling for less than $800 a pop. Less than $800 per shiny Charizard VMAX. PSA 10. Not 9, PSA 10. You couldn't even get those cards raw, ungraded, when the set first came out. Now, about a week or so after, you definitely could. And we all know that I don't want to say all, but a lot of us know, some veterans in the community know, usually when a set comes out, there's a lot of hype around it, as long as it's not just a total, if people know up front that it's not a total dumpster fire of a set, that it's going to do very well very quickly and then probably dip. It's going to have, in the investment market, here's kind of what we talked about. We would say it would have a rubber band effect. At the very beginning, you don't know where things are going to go. They're going to spike up, they're going to drop, they're going to come right back up, almost right up to that ceiling, go past that ceiling, dip back down again. It totally depends. There are a lot of factors involved. The reason that I'm so vague on that, there are just so many external variables at play that even the smartest person on the planet isn't aware of and could never be aware of. For example, when the pandemic happened, very few people knew that that was going to be a thing, especially pre-2020. Who would have thought that would have been a thing? And that's just one global example. So anyway, PSA 10s, less than $800 a pop right now. Again, you couldn't get them raw for that price. One thing I vividly remember is those raw cards, those shiny Charizard VMAX raw cards, they tanked quick. Like within that first week, I think we saw, I want to say, a $500 swing within a week. So that's not totally unique. However, it was faster. It was an accelerated version of what I thought would play out. I looked at these cards a month ago, raw cards, and they were selling under $300. They're still selling under $300. You can get a raw shiny Charizard VMAX for less than $200 right now. So should you be selling your shiny Charizard VMAXs right now? Well, that depends on a few things. If you're in this game for the long term, no, do not sell those cards. I would not sell that card. However, you also have to think of the opportunity cost. How quickly will these raw cards be worth more than what they're worth today? So if you'd rather sell your shiny Charizard VMAX, put it up for auction, it goes for, let's say, $200. That's great. That's $200 that you could put into a Chilling Reign booster box and a couple ETBs, for example. And then you have to ask yourself, do I think this Chilling Reign set is going to do better in the short or long term, depending what your goals are? Do I think this set's going to do better than the shiny Charizard VMAX whenever at X point when I want to sell? I will say, buying the shiny Charizard VMAX, or if you pulled the shiny Charizard VMAX, that's like having one individual stock, just a stock, one. Coca-Cola, for example. And then having something like Chilling Reign, right? That's like a mutual fund where, oh, you know, I've got some ExxonMobil, I've got Coca-Cola, Walmart, Amazon, all locked in here, right? Under that umbrella of that set, multiple different cards within the set. Sets are kind of a no-brainer play, right? That's an easy pick. Well, sure, that's gonna go up long term, right? No one's going to sell a booster box less than what they got it for at the distribution level. Generally speaking, yes, there are almost always exceptions. So if you're just some casual collector, you pulled a shiny Charizard VMAX and you're like, you know what? I'm never gonna grade this thing. I'm actually not completing a binder for this. I'm happy I pulled it. It was awesome to look at for a week or two. I'm gonna sell it for a couple $100 now. Great, good for you. Sell it for a couple $100, make some guy really happy online right now. It's a win-win. However, if you're playing it long term, personally, I wouldn't sell the card. These cards are going to go up. In my opinion, exclamation point, parentheses, disclaimers. Overall, grand scheme of things, if I'm looking back 5 years from today, will I be glad that I sold a shiny Charizard VMAX for $175? No, I don't think I would be. Would I be happy 5 years from now if I bought a shiny Charizard VMAX for $800? I saw one go for $650 yesterday. $650 for a shiny Charizard VMAX. 5 years from now? Yes, I think I'm going to be very happy that I purchased something like that. Would I be happy if I sold it for $650 5 years from now? Probably not. Let's look back at this video 5 years from now. I'll forget that now. You can let me know if you're watching this 5 years from now or about then and be like, hey, you know what? You are right, or hey man, you are really dumb. So one quick thing I want to point out to you, and this is something I saw before I left the financial world. We live in an unprecedented time right now, of course. The way that information moves is faster than it's ever been before with the internet. YouTube, more people are on YouTube now than even 2 years ago. One thing you have to keep in mind, I wasn't collecting Pokemon back in 2000. I wasn't a hardcore investor. I didn't have thousands and millions of dollars to invest in the product. However, the people who did, across the board, all of them are saying, you know what? Even the average collector nowadays is way more savvy than even 5 years ago. So if we take that at face value, the average collector now is significantly more in tune with the market. Oh, this is what makes this rare. This is a good buy. This isn't a good buy. And I'm not saying that they're just amazing all the time. The average of a market is average, right? Not saying it's amazing or poor, but the average collector is that. They're average. But the average has gone up over time. Are you still with me? Which means, and again, information is flowing faster. People know a good buy when they see it. Oh, you know what? That booster box is $143. And you know what? I can get that cheaper elsewhere. I see that a lot online right now. So what does that mean? When information moves quicker, individuals move quicker on a product. What do you think the price is going to do? Have you seen any other card game outside of Pokemon right now? Have you heard of Flesh and Blood? Have you seen MetaZoo? Now, let's look at Pokemon, just the newer sets. Have you seen a Cosmic Eclipse booster box, which, it was 2 months shy, I just talked about this, it was 2 months shy of being a 2020 set, going for over $500 a booster box. The set isn't even old. Yes, we've had a boom in the collectible game. Yes, there's a boom in the economy. There are a lot of factors at play, absolutely. However, is information flowing faster? It absolutely is. Will the prices on certain products move faster than they used to? AKA the vintage sets in Pokemon, right? Like base set. Well, that took 20 years to get to that price. It probably, I'm going to stick my neck out there. It probably isn't going to take that for a lot of other newer sets. Now, am I saying that that's going to be across the board on average you're going to see that? Only time will tell. I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody can tell the future. That's something to keep in mind though. However, do I think we're at the bottom of the dip for the shiny Charizard VMAX? That's a tough one. It's just been confirmed. Shining Fates is getting a reprint this year. I think they're already starting to do some pre-allocation numbers for certain stores. Whenever you see more product thrown in, price goes down, generally speaking. Do I think the shiny Charizard VMAXs will continue to either climb or fall? So right now, they're at a trajectory, if I can talk. Here, I'll put up a picture for you. So this is just on StockX. I know this isn't the end-all be-all for shiny Charizard VMAX information, but it's at least a graph and can give us at least somewhat of an idea. And again, take this with a grain of salt. This isn't something to take as the gospel, but this chart right here, as you can see, overall, the cards are going down. These are PSA graded cards and Beckett graded cards. This is showing what they've done since they came out. Obviously, you see that huge spike there at the beginning. And then now I just took a white highlighter through this. So you can still see the top of the graphs, but this is something we did a lot when you're trying to figure out the trajectory, the future of what's going to happen. Now, where has the card been going? It's been going down consistently, right? Are we starting to see it bottom out? On this graph, not really, no. I'm still seeing the shiny Charizard VMAX prices get chipped away a little bit. Now, the product is dried up. We're not supposed to see anymore. However, I just saw on Target online that they just released some more Shining Fates ETBs. So it's not all depleted. Of course, that isn't the case. However, is it starting to dry up? Certainly. You're not going to be seeing them as much at your LGS. However, we just had confirmation of the reprint for later this year. Not even that long, I don't believe. So will the price continue to be shoved down? How much further? Where is that bottom point for the Shiny Charizard VMAX? That's what everyone wants to know. I don't think we're at the bottom yet. As silly as that sounds, as crazy as that sounds, I don't think we're at the bottom yet. I think it will continue to fall. Do I think it's going to go down to $20 a card? No, I totally don't think it will. If you use an extreme example like that, do I think this is a $1 card? No, if everything stays about the same how it has been historically for Pokemon, no, this isn't a $1 card. No, I don't think it's a $20 or a $50 card. I think it's worth way more than that. So let's use $50 as our baseline. Like, hey, it'll never go here. Let's hope it never goes there. So $50 being the base point. Am I okay with spending $175 right now, knowing it might dip down to $80 a card, but that's it. That's the bottom point then. So that's something that you have to keep in mind. What is the bottom point in your opinion? Do I think that the cards will continue to go down? And do I think Shining Fates will be printed next year and maybe even the year after that? I do. I am willing to wait until I start to see a consistent trend up and maybe pay a little bit more in the future than knowing, hey, you know what? There's still that downside risk. The card value still might be cut in half for all I know. So the set's not done. We're going to continue to see more product. There's going to be a higher increase in numbers for PSA 10s, the PSA 9s. Those numbers are only going to go up. They're going to be more and more common. The price will have to go down. How much more down? Or demand could absolutely skyrocket again, and the prices would reflect that. So do I think it's a bad time to buy? No, I don't think it is. Do I think it's a good time to buy? Again, it depends. What are your goals? You have to ask yourself, what is the opportunity cost for these cards right now? I don't see these cards being a quick flip right now. I could totally be wrong on that. I don't think you could buy a card right now and be like, hey, you know what? 2 months from now, I'm going to be able to flip this. I don't think that's going to be a possibility. There are a lot of things you have to keep in mind here. Again, my opinion, here's what I would do with my strategy if I had $500,000 just sitting around and I wanted to put it only in shiny Charizard VMAXs. I would wait for this next reprint to hit. The price might go up between now and the time that happens. It might go up. The price will go down when that reprint happens. How big is that re-release reprint? I don't know the allocation number for that, but I want to see. As of now, there's nothing indicating to me that the demand is going to spike, which means that then the price would spike. So, that being said, I think we're going to see a continuation of the stabilization of the Charizard VMAX, the shiny Charizard VMAX. And then I think the price will dip a little bit more. Then I would be comfortable with buying. Even if it goes down the following year, if Shining Fates just gets absolutely printed to oblivion, I would still be comfortable with buying it then. And you could still flip it after that point between now and the next reprint if there isn't another reprint very close together. So that's certainly a strategy to have. I would also be super happy to hold on to that product long term. Long term meaning 5+ years. I'd be happy with buying the product right now for 5+ years. But what do I know? I'm just a washed up broker. The most important thing to consider would be to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified of future videos like this. And until next time, it's really simple. You just gotta buy low and sell high. All right, let's take this box out of context. I'll outright banana your walnut.